What up? It's your friendly neighborhood menace, back like Hunter Biden's cooked crack. And we're going to take a look at how Democrats have become so Trump deranged. They are now advocating for China. They love China. If we go to a war with China, we have to be nice with China because we have to get our materials from China to even go to war with them. So we got to be nice to them so we can get cheap shit from China. Yeah. I mean, this was the eventuality of what was going to happen. They just have to go against anything Trump does. They can't support it. It has to just be Trump deranged. But let's check out this clip from Kevin O'Leary. He explains the whole reason why we need to separate from them.
I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it and sell it back here. I want Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. America is the #1 economy on earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall.
Well, that's a graphic image, and it's starting to happen. Chinese cargo ships are turning around in the middle of the Pacific. You know what else is in those cargo ships?
And they don't have a democracy. That's what it looks like when you don't have a democracy.
Fentanyl. Send it back. There's nowhere for their cargo to go with a 125% tariff. If you bought furniture from China after it got slapped on, you're paying double.
Yep.
And now the move is to buy American. The Amish make great stuff. Or less expensive furniture from another country, but not China.
The markets right now are extremely good.
The stock market had its best day in American history. The president announced he's pausing reciprocal tariffs for 90 days on every country and dropping all tariffs to 10% on all countries except China. China just got hit with a 125% tariff. They're the only country that lost, and they lost big.
Yep.
And that's the point. China never picked up the phone. Instead, they retaliated. The rest of the world, our allies, wouldn't stop calling.
These countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
Trump created maximum leverage for himself, and now his team's sitting pretty, taking meetings and doing deals that put America first. And if we don't like how the negotiation's going, our partners have seen the kind of pain we can cause, and they're motivated to do what we want, or else we'll make them feel the same pain.
Exactly.
Everyone said you don't want to be last to come to the table, and China was last.
We saw the successful negotiating strategy that President Trump implemented a week ago today. It has brought more than 75 countries forward to negotiate. It took great courage for him to stay the course until this moment. And what we have ended up with here, as I told everyone a week ago, they're in this very spot, do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you.
This was a test. If you called, you're an ally. And we fly you in for a trade summit. China didn't call this morning. They retaliated with an 84% tariff on American exports. And that told us exactly who they were, not our friends.
And this is just so much more than tariffs. Like, this is about taking power away from China and getting the rest of the world to realize that they should not have the power they have. They are communist. They are murderous. Like, they're an evil regime. These people have gained so much power through their tariffs and just through selling cheap shit, just through selling crap. And this can't keep going on. Like, they have nukes. We have to import our stuff from them for our military. So this is just, and we needed to get the world to turn on them. And guess who didn't? The EU. And you know what? They're a huge problem, man. I mean, dude, they probably thought the rest of the world was going to go against America, but they can see that we're on the right side of this thing. This is the right way to go.
This was a trap. and China walked right into it.
This was his strategy all along, and that you might even say that he goaded China into a bad position. They responded. They have shown themselves to the world to be the bad actors, and
Yep.
we are willing to cooperate with our allies and with our trading partners who did not retaliate. It wasn't a hard message. Don't retaliate. Things will turn out well.
A trapped rat lashes out. So we have to manage the death of China so that we don't get sick. China's embarrassed about being so isolated, so we have to throw them a great funeral and tell them it's a birthday party.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here.
Yep.
You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher.
After unleashing a pandemic and now this, China is not in a position to play hardball, and they'll have to sign something to ease the pain, or else they won't last long in the New World Order.
Yep.
A deal can be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair. They will be fair deals for everybody. But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that.
We made China, and we can break them. The consensus over there is their economy is already having a heart seizure, slowly grinding downwards. The only way they survive is selling products to us.
And they're not going to cash out all their stocks or whatever, but our money's worth more than theirs. So they need our trade. Like, they need, that's why investors over in China are freaking out. They want this guy to make a deal because they're going to get hit harder than anybody. They need, our money is worth more to them than their own money.
America has the power to set the terms. Every country around the world is moving production out of there, and they know it. If China had played fair for the last 4 decades, they would have built up a little goodwill. But they're a predatory power trying to wipe us off the map.
I finally found the clip, man. This took forever. CNN removed the clip. I found them on Twitter. I can't use them on Twitter. I wanted the full clip so you guys could see how she is rooting for China. And she's not the only one. This idiot too. But
not livable.
And the trade, honestly, the trade is asymmetrical.
And who voted for Donald Trump?
Precisely. Trade is asymmetrical with China. We imported over 439 billion products from China. We exported over 140 billion from China. Their own foreign ministry has said, we will not flinch. We will not genuflect to a bullying government. I respectfully disagree.
You, though, Tiffany, that we rely so much on an adversary to make most of our goods?
Listen, whether it bothers me or not is irrelevant. I'm dealing with reality.
Important, though.
It is important, but this is what it is.
Doesn't care because she is so Trump deranged that as long as she can, she'll take anyone's side over Trump's. So she'll take China's side so she can get cheap shit. Who knows what? Hair care products? I don't know. And it's just insane, bro, to not deal in reality like this.
That we are dependent on so many things to come out of our biggest adversary in the world. They are the enemy, and we should not be dependent on them.
But no, they are not our enemy. They're our biggest trading partner. And if we
earth minerals and you don't.
They're the enemy.
Right. But listen, but like it or not, sure, Michael, they are our biggest trading partner. And if we were to manufacture iPhones here, iPhones would cost $3,500. The American people are not going to tolerate that. We have one of the highest standards of working conditions here. I don't think that we can say, forget you, China. They
so it's
literally.
okay. So you're okay. Hold on, sure, Michael. So you're okay. You're okay if we continue to put our own economic and national security future in the hands of our biggest enemy because effectively they use slave labor to build stuff, and that makes it better for us. That is.
Democrats always advocating for slave labor. They love slave labor. They can't get enough of it.
Terrible.
I am 100% not okay with that, but I'm dealing in the reality of what is.
Do you want to change it?
But we need to change it.
Yeah, she doesn't want to realize that we have to make these changes. We have to make them. But these people think that we can just go along to get along, like China won't one day literally nuke us.
We want to change it. I don't know that changing it means isolating us on the global stage.
So what happens?
With these tariffs?
If I could ask, what happens if we ever have a military conflict with China and they say, you know what, we're going to put an embargo on anything shipping to the United States. We're going to stop everything.
See, she knows she looks foolish.
Don't you think that
She knows she knows she feels stupid. Like you're literally fucking rooting for China.
Looking at that,
we would want to have friends.
Not China.
No, I'm saying allies, not the ones that, like people that we put tariffs on in the last week. Wouldn't you think that what we would want is to build trading relationships with people who like us?
Fair trade relationships that benefit the United States.
That's what the whole point of this is. See, they have no vision. They are so brain dead, bro. They have no vision. Don't make any changes. Changes not good. We can't leave everything the same. No, the deal was to bring everyone to the table. Everyone comes to the table, then we work out a deal, and then we isolate China, make them weaker. And it shows us who our friends are, who our real friends are.
Not our friends. That's not a good friendship. That's an abusive relationship.
Fair relationships with people who are our friends. Wouldn't that be the right strategy?
I would agree with fair.
But what happened over the last week was not that. What happened over the last week was that we said we're going to treat Britain and France and the EU like China. We're going to just take the same formula we use for China and slap it on our friends.
I mean, again, respectfully, the EU, I don't really consider them our friends. Okay, I consider them to be a welfare state at this point, and we should be treating them like China until they get their act together, right?
Make any sense to you?
What makes sense to me is to decrease the trade issues that we have with other countries. I think that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me that our friends across the globe have a benefit to trading with the United States, and American workers do not. I mean, these deficiencies do exist.
Why do you want to repair 70 years of imbalance? And I agree fully with both of you that the trade...
Don't change anything, Waddy. We can't leave it the same. No, fuck you.
Relationship vis-a-vis the United States had to be readjusted.
Your own country.
Yes, but you don't do it overnight, and you don't offend your allies while you're doing it.
You don't get to dictate how we do things.
With the whole Greenland, 51st state, Japan, you just don't do that. Not if you're going to turn around,
yeah, we do.
Goodness knows when, and say, can we have
it's time to do things a new way.
Attitude to say, I like it, I'm just going to steal it. Now, the fact of the matter is, in this new land, you cannot just go and say, I like it, it's mine now. It doesn't work that way. Well, that is what they're trying to do. And in this new world order, yeah, absolutely. When they're looking at Greenland and say, I like it, I want to take it for mine, that is a very colonizing attitude.
I have never ever said we're going to go to Greenland and quote colonize it or steal it.
You're not a member of government, so you're irrelevant at that point. I'm talking about the president of the United States doing that.
You got fired from your job.
You can agitate.
If you want to engage in personal insults,
I don't, but you do.
You lack in a legitimate.
You see that? You see how she flipped it on him? She disses him, and then she says, "Oh, you want to engage in personal insults?" No, you started it. You threw shade first. And then you can't handle the comeback, so you want to put the onus on him and make him the bad guy. No, you are the idiot that couldn't handle the smoke.
You make up for it in personal insults. The point I am making is in this new world order, we are looking at countries, whether or not they're an adversary or ally, it is being determined on what kind of deal we can get. And we cannot govern, we cannot legislate that way. We are increasingly isolated on the world stage.
Why?
So if you want to engage in personal insults,
we're not
if I were you, I would reserve that for your party who is increasingly isolated. This our position outside of
you didn't even know what she's talking about. So triggered, bro. You see how triggered she got? Ooh, a white guy talking to her like that too. She hates white men, dude. Every single Trump deranged white derangement syndrome on her show, hating on white people, dude. Tucker Carlson got her fired because he did that special on her and showed the whole world how much of a racist she is, bro. She couldn't stand that white man had the nerve to step up to her. All right, man, that's it for the show.